welcome to the first episode of Connecting the Pervs, brought to you by Fox Media Group and One Bossy Broad. Yeah, that's me. I got a big mouth. God gave it to me. I might as well use it. So this weekend, we're celebrating freedom. What is freedom? It's what Americans stand for, right? I mean, that's the number one mission of our country, is to provide freedom. But do we really have freedom here in America? It's a good question. Everybody needs to think about. Now, over the last week or so, we've seen the Supreme Court rulings, gay marriage. They voted 5-4 in favor of it. Well, whether you're for it or against it, it's a legality. It means they have certain legal rights as a married couple. Doesn't change our faith, doesn't change Christianity, and it can't change the Bible. In fact, the Supreme Court, in a 9-0 favor, voted for religious freedom. That means gays can no longer harass and bully Christians. Yeah, you have a right to get married and have all the legalities that go with marriage. But doesn't mean that you can push this on Christians and make us go against our faith and against the Bible. So get over it. Grow up. You got your marriage. Go live life. Leave Christians alone. We aren't actively bothering you. We just don't want you coming into our businesses when it comes to marriage. It's not hard to understand. There's no reason for what they're doing. So, that's one freedom. Religious freedom. We have a right to believe what we want. Get over it, gay mafia. Move on. So, what else has been going on? The Confederate flag. Well, we know we had a horrendous shooting in Charleston. There's been a lot of Christianity, anti-Christianity activity going on. Wasn't just this one. But they've turned it into a racial issue. And now it's all about the Confederate flag instead of what it really should be about, the mentally ill. So the Confederate flag is being banned in a lot of places. But the truth is, that's our past. It's a reminder of where we came from and how far we've come. But what about porn and pimping? Pornography and pimping are modern day slavery. Porno means sex slave. That's its definition. So if you're going to ban the Confederate flag, what about porn and pimping? Happens to be legal in some states in this country. We're letting them enslave our daughters. Are we going to do something about that? That's what I want to know. We cannot get rid of our past as long as we're still recreating it in our present. Hillary Clinton's running for president. Well, that's no big surprise. We all knew that was going to happen. They've been talking about that for years. She ran in 2008, so no surprise today. But today, we know things we didn't know back then. Like the fact that her husband hangs out and is buddies with pimps and pornographers and child predators. So if this woman, Hillary Clinton, doesn't care if her husband is a sexual predator, I mean, let's face it, he's got, a few women there that he took advantage of, used his position. Young, innocent women, naive, let's face it. 18 to 22-year-old women, They don't know what life's about. They're no match for sexual predators, especially these 40, 50-year-old dirty old men. Growing old, going through midlife crisis, preying on the young. That's Bill Clinton. Always has been, always will be. All you got to do is Google Jerry Epstein, and you'll hear about the child sex slave island that Bill Clinton frequented. Several others too. A lot of people in this network. So if Hillary Clinton doesn't care if her husband is a sexual predator, hangs out with sexual predators, and makes deals with sexual predators, what makes you think that she's going to do anything about sexual predators while she's in the White House? If Hillary Clinton's in the White House, sexual predators will go free. And more of our children will be enslaved. Keep that in mind. Sex and advertising. It's everywhere. It's in our food. It's in our kids' entertainment. It's in our news. It's everywhere. Recently we saw American Apparel's CEO let go. Very nice. Because he's sexually harassing his employees. Well, he sexually harassed the world with his advertising for quite a few years. So basically, if you see a company with hypersexualized advertising, chances are somebody in charge is a sex or porn addict. The only way to get rid of them is to call them out. Girl caught them. We call it an intervention. It's an intervention. Make them step down. CEO can't survive without a profit. Take the profit, the company will find someone new. Hopefully he'll get help. If he doesn't, it's no longer a problem because he's not in charge of public advertising. Help an addicted CEO today. Girl caught. Donald Trump. Speaking of girl caughting, he's in all kinds of trouble. I mean, as you know, he decided this was the year he's going to run for president. Well, nobody ever takes Donald Trump seriously. I mean, first of all, the guy, ships all his work and gets all his products from China. He doesn't even have Americans working in his companies. Why would we want a president like that? But, soon after he declared his candidacy, he puts his foot in his mouth, as many candidates do, and especially as the liberal media points out on GOPs, but not Democrats. And he insulted Mexicans all over the world with his comments. So, Univision, NBC, Serta, Macy's, those are the first companies in order to cancel contracts with Donald Trump, part of which is his Miss USA pageant. Not a single one of those companies said a word when he pimped those poor contestants in a nude photo shoot. Insult some Mexicans, and all hell breaks loose. So I guess the lesson that we can learn from that is, and yeah, that includes you, Bob Greenblatt from NBC. Obviously, you're saying, it's okay to pimp our women, just don't insult the Hispanics. It's crazy. Another candidate that's come into play lately getting ready to announce his candidacy, I guess, is Chris Christie, New Jersey governor. Well, first of all, nobody wants New Jersey running our country. Come on, let's get serious about this. But Chris Christie, he became buddies with Obama when they had the Hurricane Sandy. He was wanting funding. So they teamed up. Then the next thing you know, you see Chris Christie with Sofia Vergara at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Well, if you followed me at all, you know Sofia Vergara. I've learned a lot about her, and I've shared. So, why do we want these people in our White House? We don't. Chris Christie, he's nothing but the mob. He's working with Obama. He's being paid off with a visit from Sofia Vergara. And he's got all other kinds of controversy going on. So, the candidacy race just gets crazier and crazier. In the meantime, they're pimping our daughters. Have you heard about sugar babies and sugar daddies? If not, Google it. College girls everywhere are signing on to be sugar babies. Paid mistresses to older men mostly. Executives. The elite. Guys with money. Is that what you're sending your daughters to school for? A higher education in prostitution? I don't think so. You need to be looking at Sex Week, the BDSM clubs, the ignoring or covering up of rapes on campus, the liberal professors and feminists who are teaching your daughters that working in porn and prostitution is a great career choice. It's becoming a slave to organized crime. That's what it's really about. Oh, and by the way, in case you hadn't heard, Hillary Clinton was indicted. The Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, they've all been indicted for organized crime and racketeering. Look up the RICO Act. She's running for president while she's under indictment for organized crime. I don't get it. Today, tomorrow, this weekend, we're celebrating freedom. While we have someone indicted for organized crime running for president. Is this the country you planned on living in? Sure not the one I did. Let's talk a little bit about Game of Thrones. Popular cable TV show that likes to glamorize violence against women and incest. The director says he's just using his creativity to make things more authentic. I say he's a creepy, pervy, old sadist who is traumatizing his viewers for his own entertainment. I chastised a anti-rape nonprofit recently for taking money from a season finale, Game of Thrones season finale party. They were donating the proceeds of their party to this anti-rape organization. They're They're a feminist organization. It's right there in their profile. Feminist ladies are not your friends. They will sell you out for $1. And that was just more evidence of it. Game of Thrones, it's meant to traumatize its viewers and normalize sexual violence and incest. Because that's their agenda. To legalize rape, torture, incest, child rape, you name it. They want it. They want your children. And feminists help them. If you see a feminist, run the other direction. You know, Johns pay for sex trafficking victims every day. Handing over some cash does not ease your conscience. Rape is violence against women, and it should never be exhibited as entertainment. And George R.R. Martin, I see you for who you really are. You're a sadist perv, dirty old man. Feminists, they're on the pimps and pornographers' payroll. It started many, many years ago, back in the 70s, with Roe versus Wade. Feminists got their abortion clinics and their birth control, and the pimps and pornographers got the rest. All you got to do is look at their designer purses, ladies. Do you want your vaginas down in those designer purses? If not, do not support liberal feminism. They're trying to sell you to the highest bidder. We were put on this earth by God for His purpose. His Bible tells us freedom for the people was one of the most important goals Jesus had while on earth. Jesus taught us that everyone has a right to be free. The fact that our world is so corrupt and evil today, as those in power work hard to enslave the masses, is the very reason God offers us freedom through Him. If you want to be truly free, all you have to do is accept it. Speak up, speak out. God gave you that voice to be used. He expects you to use it. You know, when the Pilgrims came to America, they came here for religious freedom. They didn't sit at home in their basements and wait for somebody else to take care of it. They didn't. If they would have sat and waited saying, well, God will come one day, we'll just sit here and wait, we wouldn't be where we're at today. We wouldn't know what we're capable of having. Use your voice. God gave it to you. He expects you to use it. Happy Independence Day. This weekend I celebrate because I'm free. I pray one day that all of you will be too. God bless. Amen. Good night.